Well, check this out. WCNC Charlotte's very own Larry Sprinkle is now a part of the North Carolina Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
As you know, he's already celebrated his 40th anniversary here on WCNC Charlotte this year, but his career spans far before even that point. It started when Larry was just a wee one, 14 years old. He was a janitor at a radio station up in Rutherford County. One day, he saw there was not a DJ there after a record ended, so he did what Larry does. He jumped in, took action, and never looked back.
Larry took time during his acceptance speech to reminisce, as only Larry can, and explain what the honor means to him.
My dream to make it in radio happened when I got the job at Big Waves at WROQ. Had a wonderful career there in radio. Then that dream of the Shell Weather Tower didn't develop into the Shell Weather Tower, but 40 years ago I came to, back in those days, different call letters, now WCNC TV. I came to a station where I've dedicated my life and had every experience on air that you can imagine, from standing in 1987 on the shores at the Outer Banks getting sandblasted by a tropical storm at the time, standing in a foot of snow for several hours doing live shots in that 1988 big snowstorm that we had 12 to 14 inches of snow in Charlotte at that time. The storm of the century, 1993, and then the ceiling of the TV station caved in front of me while I was live on the air back in 1989 during Hugo, to the time I was live on the air doing a broadcast for collecting food, and a dog bit my face right before I went on the air. And the show must go on, so I wiped my face off, went on the air, kind of, put my hands up around it, and then did a voiceover and stayed on the air to get through that. And then the parade in Belmont a couple years ago, when the car was riding, caught on fire while I'm in the car. And I'm hearing people going, hot, hot, and hot. I'm going, yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. No, your car's on fire. And there it was, flames pouring out from the car. Apparently the fuel tank or something in there got caught on fire. And I just walked off and, jumped on a fire truck and finished the Belmont Christmas parade. It has been a career that, for me, I don't ever want to end. I have a hard time leaving the station, even though I backed off doing weather on the morning show. Still there every day, sweeping. I've got the broom that Joan gave me. But I want to thank once again the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters. It is as big an honor as I've ever had and ever probably will have to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I thank all of you for being here, and the staff and Joan, thank you for being the greatest general manager, and thank you all.
It's very rare for a college intern to get this sort of, induction into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Well deserved.
I appreciate it. The fact that all of you were there yesterday, the staff, and Joan, our general manager, Joan Barrett, our general manager and president.
Right.
Her introduction to me was overwhelming. I was saying, who is she talking about? It was one of those moments in life that is almost surrealistic, and I had to fight back tears.
Did you?
A lot, yes. And just to have all of you there, and so people who were from the past, some folks who passed, who I work with now, and to stand there in front of broadcasters from all over North Carolina to get that, and to know who came before me. I'm thinking, how could I be on this list? But it really was a moment in time that is unforgettable. It goes all the way back to when I first started, and the moment that you mentioned, there's the guy at WBBO Radio.
Look at that guy.
That's taken when I was about 14, 15 years old, when I was on the air.
You said your voice sounded different then.
Yeah, well, back in those days, a lot of people think you started in radio at such a young age, you must have been a prodigy. I wasn't. I mean, I talk like this. But the program director said, Larry, we don't want anyone to know that you're 14. You tell people you're 20. Back in those days, you never saw the guy. It was a mystery. So on the air, I was like this. Hi, everybody, I'm Larry Sprinkle. Off the air? Yeah, well, how'd that do? It was being someone you weren't, but eventually, hopefully, I developed into someone that everybody appreciates.
You're a legend.
Well,
interesting, like sort of full circle moment for you, because the other person who got inducted was Sis Kaplan.
It was ironic, yes. Sis Kaplan, Sis and Stan Kaplan owned the radio station where I worked 13 years before coming here.
Right.
And where I ended my radio career. And it was like, I told people it was like going to a party every day.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal experience. We had great success there, working with people like Jay Thomas and Robert Murphy and so many other people. And being inducted with Sis Kaplan the same day. We didn't know what was happening until the day before. So it was a great moment to watch her be inducted as well.
From a 14-year-old janitor to a legend and to the Hall of Fame for the
you.
North Carolina broadcasters.
We joked that we were shocked it didn't happen 20 years ago.
I know.
But, you know, you're in good company.
Wait around long enough.
That's right.
There, so y'all hang around, okay?
Well deserved,
But
Larry.
thank you. Thanks
of course.
once again.
Well done.
Of course.
Thank you.